he would get you high and then go make money off of you while you're unconscious.
Pretty much. They would just be setting me up the whole time. They would set me up with different like people and leave me there. I've been held at gunpoint before because of Kyle.
Are
Yeah.
you serious?
Yeah. It wasn't a boyfriend. I mean, I've gotten abused by guys that weren't even my boyfriends. Yeah. And the bystanders pretty much just laughed. I've had girls just laugh at me. Like it's crazy how like when you're getting abused, how there's barely anybody that defend you.
Yeah.
And that's why I have respect for my husband, because he's like, I know Blake tried to put his hands on you and I saw it. And I told him, you're not going to do that in front of me. You're never going to come back here. Yeah. There's very few people that will defend you against abusers. Like he would get my work checks and try to give them to him for robbing him. But it would be my money. And so I was wondering where all my checks would go. That's where they were going, to pay back the people that he robbed. He would take my work checks that I worked like all day for.
Like the physical check. And he knew somebody that he could give it to where that they didn't even have to have your information. They could go cash it.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild. What y'all doing out there in Kansas City?
It's crazy out here.
What? It's crazy in them streets.
Yes, it is.
Dang it. What's up, my people? It's your favorite light M Boogie in this thing. Welcome to another amazing episode of the Can Be Broken podcast, where we are shining light on the darkness of domestic violence and abuse. If you've never been here before, welcome to the show. We got 3 simple goals: to educate, empower, and encourage. We're here to educate anyone who has never been in an abusive relationship, has never experienced abusive relationship, and doesn't quite understand how it works, how you get stuck, why you don't get out. You're going to find out. We are here to empower all of our survivors to stand up and share your story without shame, fear, guilt, or judgment, because you are strong, you are powerful, and your voice deserves to be heard. And to anyone who is currently suffering in silence, listen, you are not alone. You are not crazy. Abuse is not normal. Your feelings are valid. And despite how it may feel in this very moment, there is always a way out, and we encourage you to safely seek support. Now, y'all know what we got to do. We about to hop up on in this thing, because we got to rise above these insecurities, release the burdens of shame and guilt, and revive our God-given power, purpose, and passion the Conf1dence Way. Because we about to light it up. Y'all, you know what it is, another amazing episode, and we have another amazing guest in the building. Well, you know, we ain't in the same building, but it is what it is. I just want to say welcome to the show, Miss Maya. Pew, pew, pew,
Thank
pew.
you.
Girl, we're going to have a good time tonight. We're going to have a good conversation tonight. And I just believe that whatever we talk about is going to reach who it's supposed to reach and help them heal how it's supposed to help them heal and make the decisions that they're going to make. So first of all, first and foremost, thank you for joining us on this show. We truly appreciate you taking the time out of your day. And we appreciate you being transparent and honest about what you've experienced in life, so that we can collectively help other people understand, 1, you're not alone. And then 2, whatever you experience does not mean it's the end, but there is a better way. There is a better life on the other side. So
For sure.
you know we're going to hop up in this thing. Miss Maya, my very first question for you is, have you ever, prior to getting into an abusive relationship, have you ever witnessed or experienced abuse growing up as a child?
I don't think so. My parents, I mean, they would yell sometimes, like fight and argue, but when you're a child, you don't really remember like too much of your childhood. I remember my parents fighting, but not like abuse. So
Okay, so just kind of like what we think is normal back and forth bickering, but then they work through it, talk it out, and it goes from there.
Yeah.
So what do you think, like, if you didn't grow up, because I didn't grow up that way either. My parents, you know, they weren't necessarily, from what I can remember, they weren't necessarily yelling, but as I got older, I could sense when there was tension in the house and when they, whatever they were talking about behind closed doors. But I didn't grow up in an environment that was abusive or that would have led me to believe that I would have been in an abusive relationship. I know for me, it was really my insecurities. I believe that got me there and kept me there. But what about for you? I don't know how many abusive relationships you've been in, but what do you kind of look back at your life and say, oh, that's probably where things went left?
So I was adopted. So my parents adopted me from Guatemala. So I'm like not biologically theirs. So like their dynamic is way different than they grew up than my birth mom grew up because like she drank alcohol with me. So already then I was born addicted to alcohol, which got me later into drugs. And so all my self-esteem issues and all my mental health came from that. So it kind of just kinda spiraled, I guess, like, in high school and middle school, I just got into really bad, like, abusive relationships, and, like, I didn't think anything of it because if you don't like yourself, you're gonna find people that will treat you the same way as you treat yourself.
Oh my gosh, I say that
Yeah.
all the time. Well, not all the
Mhm.
time, but I say it, and some people agree with me and some people don't. But that's exactly what I say. People are going to treat you, one, how you treat yourself, but they're going to treat you how they see you treat you. Like,
Exactly.
there are very few people who are going to try to treat you better than how you treat yourself. And when you have low self-esteem and you have insecurities, the people out there who acknowledge that take advantage of it.
Mhm.
And then they're like, well, she's already got low self-esteem, so I don't really have
Exactly.
to do
They
too much.
target that.
They targeted. But you said middle school. So with you being born addicted to alcohol, when is the earliest that you remember getting involved in it?
So okay, so there's different scenarios. I don't know if you're talking about just abuse or like abusive relationships because I've been abused by like gymnastics coach and like cheerleading coaches before, like physically. I was abused by my gymnastics coach. He would like leave like red marks on me when I went home. And then another cheerleading coach would call us like stupid and ugly all the time and tell us we suck constantly.
How
And so
old were you?
gymnastics, I was about like 6 or 7.
Are
And
you wait, wait,
then
wait, 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 wait.
yeah.
You're 6 years old, seven, 6 or 7, and you're in gymnastics and he's physically putting his hands on you at that age?
Pretty much, yeah, yeah. It was hard because when you become an adult, when you're a child, you don't understand those things, and you're like, "Why did that person do that?" But then you start to remember things from your childhood once you get older, because your childhood, your memory's not your brain is still developing. So, and then yeah, and then my cheerleading coach, I was about, like, 14 or 13. Yeah.
And your cheerleading coach was a man also?
Mhm.
And he's calling y'all ugly?
Mhm. Ugly, we suck, we shouldn't be here. Yeah.
Did you have to try out for the cheerleading squad?
No, actually, so All-Star Cheer, you pretty much like make the team based on your skills. So I was on a level 1 and I would come home crying to my mom and she had enough. So she went and talked to the coach and told the coach straight up, you shouldn't be doing that to young children. That's not right. So he got fired, I think.
Did he get fired while you were still taking cheerleading, or was that
I think
years
so
later?
because he wasn't my coach anymore.
That's
Yeah.
outrageous.
Yep. And just from that, that's how low self-esteem could just get like done because you're supposed to trust these coaches. Your parents are putting money into this. Supposed to be trusting these people with their children and you can't.
So you're basically being abused verbally and physically in elementary
Mhm.
school and middle school by grown men
Mhm.
in the very time of your life where you're already suffering, most girls, from trying to fit in, insecurities, body image issues, and
Mhm.
that's what they're pouring into you.
Yep.
That's bananas.
Yeah, it's crazy. And even after that, like shortly after that, I guess middle school, no, high school is when I got in my first domestic violence relationship. I don't remember like too much about it. I do know that he would hit me in the arm. It went from slowly like hitting in the arm to like just leaving me places to just not caring about my well-being, you know? And it I mean, you get so addicted to these people because, like when I wasn't using drugs, I was addicted to people. And so it was like another addiction that I was trading, which really sucks when you have addictive personality.
Yeah.
Um, and so, I mean, it took me some time to get out of that one. I mean, he would harass me consistently. Like I'd be in and out of mental hospitals because of how much stuff they would do to me.
Wait, so
Yeah.
the one when you were in high school,
Hmm.
how old was he?
He was about the same age, so he's probably like 15 or 16.
And at that age, he was leaving you places?
Yeah, he would have his grandma pick him up and take him home, and I would be stuck there. And he had a video of me screaming, yelling at him not to leave me, and he sent it around to everyone. I mean, it's literally starts like that. And then like after that like little relationship, it just got worse and worse and worse with each guy that I was with. Like I can tell you there's only been a couple guys that have been, I don't know if you want to see decent, but not abusive. You know what I'm saying? So like for example, like when I was 19, because this is where the abuse really dives into. I got into some bad situations with, drugs and stuff. And then I met like my first, like, not my first boyfriend, but like somebody that I connected with, or I thought I did. And he ended up, so he was very physically abusive, and he was controlling. He would care what I wear. He would care like where I went all the time. He'd keep like a tracker on my phone. And not only that, but he would sell me for money on the
Uh-uh.
street. Like
Wait.
he got me like so high. Like he would get me purposely addicted to drugs and say, "Hey, try this." And that's why I started doing meth as I did because I didn't know anything better and I didn't know what it would lead to. And like after I tried meth, fell so in love with it that I got so addicted to it that just after that, I wanted to numb all the abuse he was doing. I just got so bad. Yeah, he would literally he would have people put things in my drink, and I would be so drugged out that I would get raped for money. And that's literally what he would do. He would get paid like that.
Okay. Okay, we gotta slow down, Maya, because y'all, I didn't tell y'all to put your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle, grab your helmets. Oh my gosh, forgive me. Wait, okay, we gotta slow down because we just jumped from high school to 19.
I know.
Before we get, because we gonna touch on homeboy for sure.
Yes.
When you were in high school, so you let your parents know, at least your mom, when you were in the
Yeah.
situation with the cheerleading coach.
Yes.
But then you started having self-esteem issues. Did you start turning to drugs and alcohol in middle school, in high school?
14, yeah, my freshman year.
How did you get introduced to it?
My friend. So she said, so I got bullied through elementary school through high school. And so when I was getting bullied, I just lost myself a lot. And she said, well, hey, like take this pill. It's like pain pills for my dog and it'll make you feel really good. And I was like, okay. And so I just did it. And I mean, after that, I love the feeling so much that I just kept on taking more and more.
They were dog pain pills, like legit dog pain
And
pills.
they made me high.
That's wild.
Yep. Yeah. And then I started smoking cigarettes that year and like vaping and stuff. So it got to a point where I was like,
Really, really gone.
yeah.
What were your parents saying?
My mom knew I was high. I will be honest about my dad. My parents come from money, but my dad was more traveling and more focused on work. And he was more of a workaholic. So he focused more on like just wanting to be, I guess, away from us. And my mom did all of it. So she would notice I'm high because she actually paid attention to everything I was doing. So my like attitude and stuff had changed and I was saying the lights were too bright and stuff and that's how she already knew.
Did she try to talk to you about it, or did she kind of just give you space to?
Yeah, she tried to talk to me about it. Kind of like she was like, you shouldn't be doing that. And she tried because I mean, in school, we learn about DARE, and
Mm-hmm.
so that scared me for a minute. Like, I was like, "Okay, I don't want people doing that to me or drugging me like that in my Halloween candy or whatever." But then when I tried the drugs, it's just like a whole different feeling that I
Mm.
never thought I would feel, because when you're depressed, you literally want to, like, feel happy. And so when you have depression and you get that first high, it's like the best feeling in the world. And that's what sucks. Even a person could do that to you. And that sucks.
Man.
Yeah.
So you're in high school
Mhm.
and you start doing drugs,
Mhm.
alcohol. You meet homeboy number one, which so like how did y'all meet? Did y'all go to the same school? How was he
Yeah,
where
we
y'all
went to the
met?
same school. See, I don't really remember too much about him because of the last person I was with. I have a lot of brain fog.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to remember. Narcissistic abuse, I will say, one of the
Hmm.
worst kind of abuses you will ever go through.
Yeah.
And I've been through physical. And I will say the psychological and brainwashing that they do. I mean, I can't even pinpin. That's why I went like skim through it, because I barely remember high school now. Like, I just
Wow.
have a lot of brain fog. I don't remember half of the stuff I did like 2 months ago. So it's
Wow.
crazy. It's crazy. I'm working on that with my therapist, but it's crazy
Yeah.
how it does that.
Yeah, the person that I was with, he was narcissistic and physically abusive, and it
Mhm.
is insane how they're able to manipulate you. Like, I wish that it was a study. Is there like a physical difference in their brain, or what is the psychology in their brain that makes them so good at manipulation? And it's like,
It's hard to understand. And so that's why I'm going to school to be a narcissistic, like, study in that field, because I think it's, like, amazing to help other people overcome it. And the last guy that I was with, I have a baby with him, so it's a lot harder, and
mhm,
also she looks exactly like him. So I'm trying to heal from like 1,000 different things at once, but also
yes,
he would just take random things. So he would take my welcome mat, and then he would take my daughter's like training potty seat, and I'd be like, "Why?" Like, because I gave him my mom's car that, she gave me, but I got a new car, so I gave it to him to use, and I was like, why are these in your car?" And he's like, "Oh, you left them in there." Just by that, that is literally, like, gaslighting you.
so is this happening after y'all separated, like y'all broke up? He's doing that, or he's doing that while y'all still together? We're still together.
No, it was while we're still together.
Hmm. Yeah, we gonna get into that because I got a lot. Yeah, we gonna get into that. So
Oh, no,
before we
yeah.
get into the last one,
Yes.
okay. So high school is now a blur. But you know that it was a huge struggle. Did you, when you graduated high school? Did you graduate high school?
Yes, actually, I have another abusive relationship that I went in. I remember sorts and bits of him. He put his hands on me. He used to bite me, and then like, I couldn't go to high school barely. Like, I dropped out because of him at
Wait, wait,
first.
wait. This was in high school. So the second
Mhm.
abusive relationship is in high school.
Mhm.
Girl.
Yeah, I know it was bad, and I met him online. And so, like, I just like he just lived, like, I don't know, like 30 minutes, no, not even that, 10 minutes from me, and so I kinda just, like, got into it, but then I left my parents' house and started to just live off the street. I couldn't even go to high school because he was cheating on me so much that I didn't trust him. Yeah, I didn't trust him, like, to go to high school and be
How old
there
was
near.
he?
He was about the same age. He was a little younger than me, I think. No, we're about the same age, like 18.
But
We're
y'all went
both
to different
18.
schools.
Yeah, I think he went to Oak Grove High School, yeah, and I went to Park Hill, so yeah.
Okay. So y'all met online,
Mhm.
and I imagine the conversation felt really nurturing, really healthy, really loving.
At
Then
first it
y'all
did.
link up in person. Like, how long after
Yes.
y'all start hanging out in person does he start showing you the real side of himself?
Oh, well, he was very pushy to hang out and keep me from going back to my house, which, now that I think about it, it was a red flag. Because, why is someone trying to make you live off the street with them? Even when his stepdad is not okay with me living with him. I mean, I've always, like, self-harmed as a way to release stuff too, and with that relationship, like, he started showing his true self when he just, like, I mean, started treating me bad. Like, he would text me things, like, in the basement. He'd be in the same place and be like, "I found someone else, you can go now," and stuff like that. He would just randomly text me stuff, and I was like, "That's really weird," and that's how I knew something just wasn't right with him. He even blamed me for him getting back on meth.
Mm.
And so that's how I knew, like, and then I started, like, cutting again with him, um, and then he would, like, take nudes and send them to other girls constantly, and I would just see his phone, and it would just be loads of girls, and I'm like, so he
So how,
was mostly a cheater, but, I mean, he was physical too.
so when he got physical, like you said, he was hitting you.
Biting me, hitting me, and then he was emotional, he called me ugly.
How long were
Yeah.
you with this one?
Off and on for, I wanna say, a year.
One thing I will say about them is that they're really good at making a bad decision and then blaming you for the bad decision that they
They are,
made.
and it's crazy how that happens.
It's like no accountability, no responsibility for what
Yeah,
you did, but because you're with me and
it's my fault.
it's my
Yeah.
fault when you're
That
literally
that
making me depressed.
and it's literally that one guy that just says that is just all that it takes for your self-esteem to not go back to where it was, and then you just keep crumbling into the
Hmm.
same pattern of guys, and then eventually it gets so bad that you're like, "I've gotta change something."
Yeah. Yes. It's out. It's we attract them, but I think a lot of people can attract them. I don't think that women who are more confident or who exude more confidence, they might attract them too though, and then they're able to shut it down because they see the flag earlier and they're not going to allow themselves to settle for the foolishness. And so because I was in a state of fake confidence or insecurity,
Mhm.
I can remember like the first lie he told me and I was like, well, why would he lie about that? But
Exactly, but it's hard to remember because I know someone that my youngest's dad that I was just talking about, his baby mama, his second baby's mother, well, she was very like she would act like she's insecure to me, but then she would be over there telling my brother like, "Oh, well, he'll always come back to me," and stuff like that. So you just have to it's hard to be careful with certain people like that because sh him coming back to her is not a very good sign either, because
hmm
he comes back to her because she's easier to manipulate. The reason
hmm
he, like, smears my name is because he knows he no longer can do that to
that's that.
me, and I
Oh,
called him out on his domestic assault, so he has domestic assault charges out for him on me that he did on me now, and he's not happy about it. So he's not in my life anymore or my daughter's life because of the domestic assault, how it makes him look. He doesn't
hmm
care really about the charges himself. He cares about how it makes him look.
yes, that is the
So,
truth. They
mhm.
don't like they want to, it's all good when it's not on record.
Yep.
But when it's on record, it's a problem because that's public information. And
Mhm.
you can't be the person that you are, which is I can pretend to be this good, charming, cordial person in public to other people, and then behind
Yep.
closed doors, I'm gonna hurt somebody. And when you
Exactly.
have that on your record, it's like now I gotta try to get a job or do whatever without them noticing this record.
Yep.
So homeboy was tripping. He was biting you, he was hitting you, he was abusing you emotionally, verbally.
Mhm.
You get out of that relationship after a
Mhm.
year.
And
Thank
he got
goodness.
well, he went to back to prison. So he went to prison for having sex with a minor. He cheated on me with a minor. So there's that. And
How did
so
they find that out?
I guess one of his friends told on him. The same guy that had sex with her, I guess he got in trouble, and in order for him to get out of trouble, he had to tell it someone else. And so he served
Um,
like, I don't know, 10 years or something. Yeah, he just got out like this year, I think.
dang.
Yeah, it was a lot. So I was like, well, I mean,
So his friend got caught, and then he took a plea deal to
probably to
tell
tell him.
homeboy.
Hmm.
So homeboy had to go to jail.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah, it's crazy.
So you're out of that relationship. He's doing whatever he's doing.
Hmm.
Fast forward, you're now 19. You meet this other guy. Y'all meet in person, or did y'all meet online first?
Um, no, I think we met in person. I think he was selling the friend I was with at the time drugs, and I didn't notice it at first. I didn't
Were you
notice that
off
that was
drugs
him.
at this time?
I was doing like pills and stuff. Like I
Hmm.
always did pills and weed, but I wasn't like heavy on the meth and heroin and fentanyl yet.
Hmm.
I was still getting up to there. I was still like high and stuff. But I mean, when I met him, he was already on that stuff. And I was trying to get him off of it. But he would like give me Xanax and stuff before work and be like, oh, just take this, it'll relax you. I'd be asleep while he's cheating on me next to the bed. Yeah. He'd be like literally cheating on me when I'm sleeping on the bed. Like he did some really messed up things to me. Yeah.
So you met him through your friend getting drugs
Yes.
from him.
Hmm.
And because you're still in that needing to get high, alcohol abuse,
Hmm.
drug abuse state, it's not that you're actually even looking for somebody that's healthy. You needed a companion that was on your level.
Yeah, he would well, so my husband now is friends with him. Well, was friends with him. He don't like him anymore. But he told me when we got together that like he would get my work checks and try to give them to him for robbing him. But it would be my money. And so I was wondering where all my checks would go. That's where they were going to pay back the people that he robbed. He would take my work checks that I worked like all day for.
Like the physical check. And he knew somebody that he could give it to where that they didn't even have to have your information. They could go cash it.
Mhm.
That's wild. What
I
y'all doing
know.
out there in Kansas City?
It's crazy out here.
What? What is crazy in them streets?
Yes, it is.
Dang it. So when you meet him, I mean, is there anything, what about him? Because there has to be something about him that you're attracted to. What about him were you attracted to?
His
What,
looks. I'll be
his looks?
honest. His looks was I thought his personality was okay cuz okay, so I met the guy that he sell drugs to from Sean because okay, so Sean was the one that was biting me and stuff, and went to
Bless
jail.
it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um I met his brother with him, his half brother. Then his half brother introduced me to Kyle. Kyle is the one that Blake sold drugs to, and Blake is the one we're talking about. But like, so that's how it kind of like all these crews knew like each other and it got like really
What?
bad. Yes. And so like I mean his personality was okay at first. Like he was very nice. He was like, "Oh, I would never treat you that way. Like you're really pretty. Like no one would do that to you. I don't know why anyone would do that to you." Because I was sad about a different guy. And so he's trying to lure me in, telling me it's gonna
Mhm,
be fine. Little did
mhm.
I know he had a baby mama and he had a baby on the way. And I've apologized to her 24/7 because like that's just not me. Um, I told her, that was messed up for me to do because I didn't know that you
Had no
had
idea.
no. And constantly the girls blame the girls, but
Mhm.
when are you gonna start blaming the guy that manipulates everyone?
They don't blame the guy because they don't want to hold themselves accountable for continuing to choose somebody that's mistreating them.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep.
And that's a topic for a whole nother
Right.
conversation. We
Exactly.
have to do better. It
Yeah.
bothers me. So many fights, so many back and forth, so much bickering, so much unnecessary nonsense because you can't hold yourself accountable for like just walk away.
Mhm.
And then you don't want to hold the person who's the one who's actually doing it to you. You don't want to hold them accountable because
Right.
that means you got to face your own insecurities and address the things that are your issues. So
And he was very, very controlling. Like, when I say very, very controlling, like, he would literally stalk me, and he would call me. Kyle and his other friend we were together, and they wanted me to hit the dap head. I didn't want to because I wasn't in the mood, but I did anyways, and I got really high. I like zoned out for like 2 hours straight. Didn't know where I was. Didn't know what happened. Blake called me like 200 times. It was like 200 times that he called me. Kyle turned off my location. He said, I finally woke up from the cytosis thing. And he's like, don't answer, it's Blake. And I was like, what is going on? And then he's yelling at me on the phone. He's like, I'm gonna find out where you are and I'm gonna kill you. Like he would be threatening like that. Like he's gonna kill me. Yeah, he was crazy. He's in prison right now though. But he just got out last year and then went back for
and
parole
then went
violation.
back.
Yep. And he thinks it's funny. Yeah, he just tried to call me too, which is crazy because like my husband, he was really mad that he even tried to like reach out or anything because he knows
Right.
of all the stuff he did to me and he's not happy with it. So,
So he would this Kyle selling drugs to people, got women, got babies, got other women on the
mhm,
side, pretending that
mhm.
he cares, but once he lures you in, now he shows you who he really is. He would get you high and then go make money off of you while you're unconscious.
Pretty much. And I heard that Kyle was just using me for my car and for my money. He wasn't really necessarily trying to hang out or anything. That's why they would always I mean, they would like, I don't know, act like they're other people trying to get in my pants and stuff. I'm like, and so they would just be setting me up the whole time. They would set me up with different like people and leave me there. I've been held at gunpoint before because of Kyle.
Are
Yeah.
you serious?
Yeah. It wasn't a boyfriend. I mean, I've gotten abused by guys that weren't even my boyfriends. Yeah. And the bystanders pretty much just laughed. I've had girls just laugh at me. Like it's crazy how like when you're getting abused, how there's barely anybody that defend you.
Yeah.
And that's why I have respect for my husband because he's like, I know Blake tried to put his hands on you and I saw it. And I told him, you're not gonna do that in front of me. You're never gonna come back here. Yeah. There's very few people that will defend you against abusers. Not because they're scared, but they get more of a laugh out of being a part of that crew rather than being, you know.
Did you ever think during this time with Kyle, like everything that you're going through, did you ever think to reach out, like to call the cops or anything, to reach out to anybody?
Well, I was never with Kyle, but Blake, yes, I did. So I reached out to the cops a couple times and they did not believe me. Um,
Wait,
so
whoa, 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 whoa.
I
We're not, nope, nope, nope. We can't go past that. What happened that you had the courage to reach out and then you did reach out and they didn't
so
believe you?
okay. So one night, this guy named Eddie, he was like a plug. He was like one of the pimps. He would pretend to kick Blake out. So Blake would go and get kicked out. And I took like a drink. They said, I made you, so I was homeless at the time. Um, they're like, we made you tea. So I drank some of it. One, like a little bit of the sip, like just a little bit that I took. Like I started to feel dizzy. I started to feel like I couldn't catch my breath. Something was weird. And then he gave me a shard of meth, and I don't remember taking it. Like I don't remember. And then I went upstairs. Somebody was persuading me to go up there, and I didn't want to. I told him no twice, and then all of a sudden I just end up there. I don't remember what happened. I just remember like passing out and waking up with him raping me. And it was like one of the scariest thing. Like my legs would not move to get him off me. Like my legs were numb. Like they would not move. And eventually Blake called me, asked me if I was being raped. I was like, how do you know? How do you know what raping sounds like? I was like, help me. That's all I said. And so he obviously knew what was going on. And then the guy asked if I wanted to work for him.
Wait. In the middle of that happening, somebody calls you. The person that's
Blake.
downstairs.
Yeah.
He's
Apparently he was watching.
downstairs.
Yeah, apparently he was watching me the whole time be raped and get set up there. He was setting up my rapes pretty much.
Then he calls you while it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
You answer the phone and the person that's doing it to you doesn't even say anything. They just keep on.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm confused. Like, I don't even know what's going on. So I hear my phone ring. I'm like, I'm going to try to get some help because my legs were not moving. But I thought it was my dad at first because I was so drugged up that I don't remember what happened. I know I blacked out and that's about it. That's what made me call the cops. They said they tested everything. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. But what they do, like getting you on drugs, that's one of the hardest things because them having me on those drugs is what saved their asses because they like I didn't cooperate with the investigation. I wouldn't give them my records because I thought the cops and the police were setting me up because the drug of it was just making me feel like everyone was against me. And that's exactly how they got away with everything. Just like that.
So, okay. So Blake calls you
Mhm.
in the middle.
Mhm.
You answer and you say, "Help me." Does he
Yep.
come? Does he even come
He's
upstairs?
like, "I'll nope." He's like, "I'll be right there." And then after that, nothing happened. I ran out of the house, don't know where I left my wallet, and then I just see money involved, and I don't even know why money is involved. So, that's when I was confused. I came down crying, and I called the cops, and Blake was just smiling,
And then the cops show up.
and they take me to the hospital and stuff.
They don't question, or do you remember? Do they question anybody that's at, because it sounds like it's a lot of people at the house.
I think they put him in jail, but then they just, like, dropped the case. When you're so high, you don't even remember what happens because 'cause you're
Right.
like your brain is so messed up from being on drugs. So, yeah.
I would think, and I'm clearly not a trained police officer here,
Right.
I would think that if someone had enough, like you were holding on to it just enough sense to be able to call the police for help, that they show up and they see that there's an issue with you, so much so they take you to the hospital and they arrest the guy. But because you're not cooperating, they can't charge him with anything. Is that what am I saying that right?
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much.
And you're not cooperating because of the
On
drugs
drugs.
that you're
Yeah.
on.
Mhm.
Which, if I'm a trained police officer, I know the effects that drugs have on people.
Exactly. I just feel like they just were lazy and didn't wanna do anything. Like I said, like, I tried to reopen the cases, like, 2 years back, and I found some disturbing news, like, they said it was teared or ripped up there, but also they said that they found, like, 2 sperms inside me, like, semen inside me, and unless I knew the other person that it could be, then I can't go after it. They also said that since Blake was my boyfriend, there's no possible way he could have raped me, and I said, "Well, if I'm sleeping, I can't consent. So if he's having sex with me while I'm sleeping, it is rape." But okay. So
So they wouldn't let you reopen the case.
like they let me reopen it, but they felt like there's not enough evidence to charge anyone. Because I didn't like so there was another case where like I was sleeping and I woke up with stab marks all over my boobs and like down there.
No.
Yeah. And
No.
yeah, and I woke up with like bleeding and I thought it was my period, but it wasn't my period. It was like bad. I woke up with the worst pain. And then when I actually went home to my parents, like I was like peeing was burning so freaking bad. And that's how I just knew. I just knew.
And did you call the police this time? Or you did go to the hospital?
Mm, Yeah, I did. I did go to the hospital, but I don't know. Maybe it was just the hospital or the county that I went to, because I went to Belton and Grandview, and both of them did not wanna really do my case. They thought I was just, like, on drugs and just confused. So, pretty much all those people got away with everything they did to me.
Did they do it? They at least do well, I mean, they did some kind of an examination, right?
Yeah. They did a SANE exam. They said with the UV light, because you know how they shine and it's like if it's really blue, they said they saw evidence back there. And they said they saw saliva on the thing. So I mean,
So if I have DNA evidence, oh my gosh, this world, I have DNA evidence on a kit. So they did a rape kit
hmm
with clear stabbing. Like they clearly understood that something stabbed you, like a knife.
yeah. hmm
Then I have evidence, DNA, and we know the people that it could have been. I can't just say, you know what, let's just test them and see if it matches and then go from there.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like I was like, why can't they just test the people that are involved? I gave names,
And what
you
was their
know.
excuse this time?
Oh, that there's just not enough that they just don't really wanna do anything. Like, that's what I feel like they just didn't want.
Inconclusive.
Yeah, literally. Because I went to the hospital for, like, a brave a brave I don't even know how to say the word, but, like, bruises and stuff, and I don't even remember going to the hospital, but apparently someone called the police about Blake abusing me because I was in the hospital for assault, and they said I had bruises all over me. I don't remember though.
So he has a record of it. Other people are now adding into that record and they still don't do anything.
No,
Like
I
he's
had
in jail
clear evidence with him for sure for him to get charged, and they did not want to charge him.
and he's in jail now.
He's in prison, yeah.
What is he in jail for or prison?
Running, fleeing the cops. He like was running from the cops and he injured someone and stealing and tampering with motor vehicles.
Nothing whatsoever with all of
No,
the.
no domestic violence. I got a restraining order on him and he even threatened me like when the restraining order was like on and stuff. And I showed the cops and all she was doing was rolling her eyes the whole time. Yeah, the cops really don't care. Like, once I got back on drugs, he started doing kind of the same stuff as Blake did. I mean, not necessarily as extreme, but I would wake up and I would just have liquid in my knee. Yeah, yep. And I didn't know how they got there. I would wake up with black eyes, bruises all over me. I didn't know if it was from my anemia or what it was from. And it just stemmed from being in a relationship with him to moving to another abusive relationship that I thought he was a good person at first because he seemed like that, like, "Oh, I won't do that to you." That's what they all say, and he was exactly like that. And it's crazy how it just, like, stemmed because then after that, I just literally wanted attention from just about anyone, and I met this guy at work, and this brings me to the narcissist,
Mhm.
okay? And so, he would watch me on cameras, okay?
So wait, so
Eh
how old are you now?
I'm 25. So, I
I mean,
literally just
when
when
you
I met
met,
him
yeah.
23 or 24. I wanna say
Okay.
23, it was before my birthday.
Okay.
Um, and so he would watch me on, like, cameras and stuff, and he said, "Well, you're really cute," and just, like, text me, like, he found me on Facebook and said, "You ended up on my suggested friends." And I was like, "Oh, that's weird, but okay." And he'd, like, buy me stuff for my birthday. I thought it was very generous. I've never really, like I would throw that narcissistic word around a lot, like everyone else does, but you don't know that word until you're actually been in a
In it.
relationship, like, it's bad. And so, I thought he was just being a good person. I thought, because he was headed, like, he was acting like he knew me so well, and I was like, "Wow, he's, like, mirroring everything I've wanted." And that's exactly what they do. The
Mhm.
love bombing is like another dopamine to me. It's like coming in strong. And then immediately when a rumor got spread at work, like this client said that because we were working in like a detox or something, this client spread around that I had a relationship with him, which could get you fired. And
Mm. For having a
um
relationship with the client or the coworker?
the client. And so the client spread the rumor about me and they were just randomly talking about me. So I didn't read this until later, but it says if you are with a narcissist, random chaos will just spread in your life and you won't even know. You'll just randomly get it. And so that's literally what happened. My mom was like, yeah, I guarantee it was Josh that spread that rumor about you. Um, and so after that, him ignoring me was really strange because, I've never been in a relationship like that before. Something tied me different to this relationship. Like he was very flaky. Like he didn't want to hang out all the time. And it would be mostly on work or his like terms. He'd only want to hang out like when he felt like it.
Hmm.
And then he had, like, a son, and then he had 2 daughters. He'd only show me his daughters and wouldn't really talk about his son, which I didn't think was a red flag. He just told me she was withholding him, and I believed it at first, and I was like, "Okay." But then, once I seen the side of him, I was like, "Okay." His second baby mama that lets him see the kids is as crazy as him, and they're both narcissists, and that's why they feed off of each
Each
other.
other.
And
Mm.
what my narcissistic abuse recovery coach says is, girls like abuse different than guys do. So his baby mama would constantly harass me from his account, telling me how bad of a mother I am, how I'm this and that, I'm crazy, I'm psycho. She's pretty much saying I lied about the abuse he did to me, and stuff like that. And Josh is just letting her do it. But she called CPS on me 3 times.
Are you wait, so she logs into his account and then
Right
sends
when
you
me
message
and
harassing messages.
Mhm. Right
And
when
then
me
she
and him are
calls.
done. Yeah. And it's crazy because for him, not so he was a covert narcissist. So he was more closeted, which made it very, very hard because everyone would think he's this amazing person. And that's
Mhm.
what put a lot of damage on me. Like, I'm still dealing with the damage of being on edge now. I
Mhm.
constantly worry if my kids are okay. I'm constantly worrying if something bad is going to happen to us. I'm constantly worrying if someone's going to call CPS, not because I'm doing anything wrong, but because they made me second guess myself. And that was their purpose in life, to make me second guess myself. So I wouldn't think I'm a good mom. I wouldn't think I'm doing this right and stuff like that. And the thing with him is he would be very physical, but only in sex. Only in sex or only when he's, like, kissing. So he would act like, "Oh, I'm kissing you, but I'm choking you at the same time." So he'd cut off my airway and tilt my head back and act like he likes that, but actually he likes torturing me. Most narcissists get off on pain and torture. Like, when I was crying in my bed, he wouldn't really do anything. He would just, like, look at me, like, no empathy. No empathy at all, and I had a really rough year last year, or yeah, I lost my mom, and it was a really tough time for me, and he was never really there for me. I would call him, and he would not be there for me. I mean, he would come over, and he didn't show up. He, like, ghosted me for 2 days straight. Yeah, he would ghost me for, like, weeks, and then he'd be like, "Oh, you can come over now," and then fall asleep. And then he wouldn't give me attention, like, something was just weird. Like, he wouldn't wanna show me off the way a normal boyfriend wants to, because a normal boyfriend will wanna show you off, you know comment on your photos, like your photos on Facebook or stuff like that, and they would wanna hang out, but he was super flaky.
Mm.
He just didn't want to do those certain things. And so I was like, something's just not right about him. Even like people were like, I can tell that your mood's going down every time you talk to him.
Yeah. And that's a different, so let's not even ignore the fact that that's still control. That's a different side of the control.
Of control.
Because people think control is constantly being there. Where are you doing this? Da 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 da. But he's controlling and manipulating everything because he's making you want him and question why is this not happening. And then it's like, okay, well, now that I want to play, you can come out and play.
Exactly. And as long as you play the game, they're gonna keep playing. And so one of the things is like when I would talk to him, even now, he would just be, I would ask about Paisley because that's my daughter. And I would just be like, do you have any health issues? Because she's been getting really sick lately. I was just wondering. And he would just come back and be like, no, I don't have any health issues. I'm healthy. But he would tell me in the relationship he's very sick and he has a lot of health issues. And then he tells me that he's healthy. So it doesn't make sense. But also then he brings up, oh, you're crazy. You're unfit. This and that. And that's why I left as soon as I can. But also, I took him to Florida for my dad's wedding, and he told me I forced him to go to Florida, and I forced him to move into my house. That's also another type of kind of like different kind of personality disorder for sure that I've never been with because nobody can force you to do something. Also, if someone loves you, they're not going to run you away. Like he's saying, like he says, you like you ran me away or this or that, and that's why I left as soon as I could. And I was like, I mean, every girl that so every girl is not crazy when they come into the relationship. I was very chill at first. And then all of a sudden he started to flip over his phone, which was a red flag automatically. I was already cheated on. So I found that a real like I never got to see his phone. There was only one time I got to see his phone and he deleted everything. So I couldn't even see if he was cheating or not. And then he started to, it started with little like calling me names in my sleep, like in his sleep. And I didn't even know.
What?
Yeah, he would call me names in his sleep. Like he'd be like, "Oh, I said that because I was sleeping. Like I didn't mean to say that." To start exactly like that. Literally. I mean, he would call me like gorgeous and beautiful every day, but then it went to, "Why do you take pictures like that? You're ugly." And then it would go from like, a simple push to like choking to shoving. So the car he had, I told him I was going to flatten his tires. He got me to a crazy point in my life where I was just super like just on edge. And so I took the knife and I was going to go cut his tires. And I went to go out there. He pushes me against the door and he takes the knife and cuts half my hand. And then he tries to stab it like near my stomach when I was pregnant. And then he goes out, and then he takes my knife from me, and until this till this day, he tells everyone I tried to kill him, and I pulled a knife out on him.
You didn't call the police?
I thought about it, but with everything that the police have done, I just didn't wanna deal with them again.
And
Also, like, it's so scary dealing with a narcissist and police
mhm,
because all they could do is say, "Oh, she did this," and then you get arrested for their crimes,
mhm.
and that's what I was scared of. Like, I knew something was wrong with him. There was just something not clicking, and because most people have emotional intelligence to, like, text you back or be like, "Hey, I'm busy right now." Ghosting is more for, like that's what happened in my middle school relationships because we didn't
Mhm.
have, like, emotional intelligence yet, but the fact that he was ghosting me over a rumor he heard instead of asking me, that already showed me enough. And also, like, I went to therapy at that time, and she's like, "There's just something weird about this relationship."
I wanted to ask that about you calling the police, not to make you feel bad about not calling the police, but I wanted you to say well, not exactly what you said, but I needed people to understand that there's a reason because I never called the police. I came really close one time, and then all of these thoughts started flooding in my head concerning myself with the opinions of his other kids, the opinions of his mom, his aunts, and like everybody. And then like, well, I don't want so much. And so for you, it was different because one, you just don't want to deal with it, but two, you've already tried it twice. And so for people who don't understand, why don't people call the police when you're being abused? Either one, you know for a fact that you've tried this before and it didn't work out in your favor, so why am I going to do it again? Or two, you're not doing it because you don't think it's going to work out. Because like you said, if you're dealing with someone who's abusive and they're narcissistic and the police show up and they don't do anything about it, you're going to be left to deal with their wrath and rage afterwards. So,
Yes. And one of the things that narcissists do is brainwashing,
mhm,
psychological abuse, and all that stuff together alone will give you brain damage. I mean,
mhm,
just simple stuff like ghosting you. Like that's a manipulation tactic that they use. They do it to push and pull you like drugs
mhm,
do. It's pretty much like a drug to me. And he knows that. And so like what I don't even like I blocked him now, but he has like this new girlfriend or whatever, right? And she'll post about him all over her story all the time and act like she's happy and stuff. I
mhm.
mean, I read this video and it says like I could never be jealous of a girl that's with him. I would
Right.
never. Like if she's trying to make me jealous or what she's trying to do, even Kayleen, like right after I had my baby, like I was in Florida. I left to get away from him. And she would post like at Christmas, they posted pictures together and posted on purpose for me to see. And like this girl was trying to be there for me at first and saying, "Yeah, Josh did this to me, Josh did that to me." But then all of a sudden you get back together with him,
Mhm.
which is really sad. Like it's just like it was a manipulation tactic just to get information out of me. It was like narcissists like to impress other people rather than impress their own wife, girlfriend,
Oh
this and
yeah.
that. And it's
Oh
sad
yeah.
because, like, this babysitter that came over to watch my kids once, like, her mom was talking to him and he's like, "I'm going into counseling." I was like, "Wait, when did you say you're going into counseling? Because you never told me that, and I'm the one that was actually going into." He's like, "Well, I took some classes here and there," let alone he doesn't have his, like, high school diploma or anything. So, that would be impossible. So he just did it to, like, you know, just
Yes.
to get
And
attention. I mean, that's what they want. They want attention, and that's the problem with having a baby with them. Even though he's not currently, like, texting me to get in Paisley's life, he will come back when he feels like it, or having a baby with them, he will know he's in control because he
mhm.
knows no matter what, even him not showing up for the DNA test that we provided for him not showing up for those, that is his control. He
Yes.
likes to be in control of
Yes.
financially not being able to provide for his daughter or his other kids. I mean, he's not in his son's life, he's not in Paisley's life. He's in and out of his girl's life. And so it's been a mess with him because I mean, he gave me so much damage that like now that I look back on it, it's like how did I get to this like place? Like it creates so much like depression. Like you'll be depressed for no reason and you'll be like, why do I feel so depressed about life? It's because they're made to make you feel like that. Like they
Mhm.
would make fake accounts and tell me that they're gonna make my life a living hell until I decide to kill myself. Like that's how bad it got. Like they would make like really like, they would go on public platforms and just say, like, "You're somebody that messes with other people's heads," and when they react, they become the bad guy. But that's such a narcissistic thing that somebody will say. Because why is someone gonna waste their time going on public platforms doing that? So, if you're really happy with yourself, why would you do that?
That's bananas, Maya.
Yeah, and he, like I mean, even dealing with him now in the court case, going to court and having to, like, talk about what he did to me, it doesn't even start with what he did to me, because even after I pressed charges and he told me he wanted to kill himself because of all the charges, it made me feel so bad, like, I wanted to drop the charges. But why would I do that? for all
Mhm.
the pain he put me through. And honestly, I wouldn't wish this pain on my worst enemy. I mean, it's created a lot of damage in my life. Like, I can't like not have a day where I'm not anxious about something. You know, it's made my phobias worse. It's made like my anxiety worse. It's made my depression worse. I mean, that's the ones I'm struggling with the most.
Yeah.
Like you it's just like he purposely did all that, and now he's living out there acting like he did nothing wrong. And the upsetting part about it is that people believe him.
Of
People
course.
believe him over everything. But I read a post once and it said, like, unless you're with that person, you don't know what they're like. Unless you're actually in a relationship with them, you will never know what they're like. They're a different friend, you know, he would put his friend over me, like, I would have to drag him to OB appointments, he would not wanna go, and, he would put his friend over me, like, he would be texting his friend the whole time we're driving,
Mhm.
and almost crashed my car, and then when I try to swerve the car because he's going straight into another car, he literally tells me I tried to kill him. Yeah. And it's crazy because he would steal my kids' clothes and stuff, and, like, my mom's stuff after she just passed away, and he would say he never did that.
The same thing. And it just be the weird, like, why are you taking stuff?
Yeah,
You just
it do
sneak it out.
it doesn't make sense. He would say I would leave it in the car, but why would I leave it in the car? I mean, like, that's the problem, like, one of the things that was hardest for him to understand is that he could not gaslit like me like he could to other women. And
Mhm.
that's one of the reasons why he smeared my name so bad because I was already gaslit by the last two people I've been with.
Right.
So, like, I already knew what he was planning and stuff. And, you know, when I would talk to him, he wouldn't be like in it. Like he would I guess you could say he, like, would zone out, like, he would just be driving and not even listen to me, or when I would say something, he'd be like, "Well, that sucks because I think you're gorgeous," and then proceed to do whatever he does. You know, to me, that's not someone that really cares about what you're doing, that ties no empathy, no, like, I don't even know if he could be a sociopath or a psychopath, I mean, possibly. But I know for facts, like, I talked to my therapist about it, he's definitely a narcissist. Like, she can tell by the text he sends me that he is definitely a textbook narcissist, like a covert narcissist for sure, because he's closeted. So, he'll act like everyone out there because he tried to get with my friend when I was pregnant with his baby. Like, he tried to, like, flirt with her, say I'm a horrible person, that I'm crazy, that he left me for a reason, and I mean, he didn't really like he said he did it because, like, he was mad at me and he wanted to hurt me. But in all honesty, why would you hurt me and get trying to get with my best friend? I mean, that's one of the, like, worst things you can do to somebody. I mean, he is one of the worst people I think I've ever met in my life. I mean,
Mhm.
he it's not even just about covert narcissists are the worst kind of narcissists, I feel like, because they're so closeted to the point where no matter what you say, you're gonna be targeted and people are gonna think you're the abuser. Like when Kayleen came out on her public platform saying that I was harassing her when she was the one sending the harassing text messages. Yeah, her cousin texted me and said, "Oh, well, why are you harassing my cousin?" I said, "That's not happening. You know, she did this and this and this." And then all of a sudden, Kayleen starts like going on a rant about how I'm harassing her, how she tried to help me, and I'm making lies and accusations about her character. And that's exactly what they do. When they know they're at threat, they know that they have to do something about it
Mhm.
to keep the peace because narcissists, their brain don't. like survive like ours. Like we cannot deal with chaos. When I have a little bit of chaos, I start having panic attacks. Narcissists, they thrive in chaos. So they
Mm-hmm.
need to make your life chaotic. It's
Mm-hmm.
like this rumor spreads, then, your mom dies, I do this, then fake accounts, and CPS calls, then Kayleen keeps harassing you over and over again. That's pure chaos. And that's exactly what they want to do to make you kill yourself. There's literally two ways out of a narcissistic relationship. It's literally killing yourself or just having emotional wounds for the rest of your life. And I think the psychological abuse that they do, you know, Blake and Josh were different. Blake was mainly trying to kill me, and then Josh wanted me to kill myself. He eventually was hoping that they could tell me I'm such a bad mom to the point where I just would want to just end my life and not think my life was worthy anymore, which it's a hard thing to be with someone like that.
Absolutely. So what would you say, like, where are you now in a space mentally, emotionally, now that you're out of those relationships and in what seems to be a healthier relationship?
Mhm.
How are you, like, what is Maya's life now?
It's happier. The thing the thing about it is, though, having the emotional wounds from somebody else can just affect your mood on a daily basis. I will say that I am happier with my husband. He is currently incarcerated right now because due to other charges that he did back then, I wanna say. They really don't know why he's locked up. It should have read concurrent with his other charges, but it didn't. So unfortunately, he's locked up at least until March or December. But like, like, I'm happier with him, and he helps a lot with my kids. He loves my kids. That's one of the things. He loves my kids like they're his own, and he calls them his daughters. And Josh did not do that. Josh, he would just abuse my kids. And once I found out, I kicked him out of the house. And then he would go tell people, oh, she kicked me out of the house, blah, 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 stuff like that. But it was because you're being mean to my kids. You're not going to do that. And so, with that being said, like, I'm happier with him, but the emotional wounds that Josh has caused, it's taken me a lot more time, I guess, to get over
Hmm.
this
Yeah.
stuff. Like I tend to second guess myself more, and I also have more brain fog. So, like, I don't remember a lot of things, and it, like, really frustrates me because, like, I don't remember, like, what happened when somebody says, "Oh, do you remember this?" And I don't remember. And it's
Yeah.
like, how do I not remember that? It just happened. So, stuff like that, and having to deal with it is really hard because, like, when I send my kids to daycare, I'm always on edge, like, I'm always anxious that something bad is gonna happen to them, and I always cared about my kids, but I never used to be so anxious that I thought bad things were gonna happen rather than good, and that's exactly what they taught me to do.
Yeah. And the good thing is too, you're in therapy. So it's really
Mhm.
important when you go through, excuse me, when you go through any kind of abuse, physical, verbal, emotional, mental, it's important to seek therapy because you have to have someone with the same mindset help you navigate your emotions and navigate through the healing journey because it's not easy, it's not fun, but it's
No,
necessary if you want to be the better version of yourself for sure.
especially for your new person, like, because you don't want to drag the past in with the present, and I just feel like, Josh consistently has done that to me. Unfortunately, when you still have that, like, they still have that control over your mind when you're constantly still thinking about it. That's why having a baby with them, they just feel like they're always gonna be in control no matter what happens. And that's
Yes.
the problem. And, God, I believe in God. I don't know if anyone else does, but God has really, going to church has helped me. I know God does things in his own way. He knows I'm strong enough to get through this, and all the pain that he had caused. One of the things is Paisley, my daughter, looks exactly like him. So, I mean, it is harder because I have to, like, see his face kind of like every single day, which is a really hard thing. But I'm working with my therapist with tying the difference between him and her. and trying to be like, yes, I love her, but I don't like him. Trying to
Mhm.
like show that he's the one that did it. And Paisley is so innocent in all of this, and she doesn't deserve to go through. Like I just don't feel like it's necessary for her to even meet him, because I don't really want him to really be in her life just because of the things he has said about her. Like he would be like at the beginning for the love bombing phase, "Oh, I can't believe you're carrying my baby," and then immediately when I had her, immediately dipped. Like he hasn't been there since. It's been me constantly texting. He was in a love bombing phase like in July saying, "Oh, I just had a dream about you. Um like it's weird how you texted me. I had a dream that we were happy together." And then immediately he goes back to harassing me and saying, "I left you as soon as I could."
Yes,
So it's kind of like it's a push and shove game with him, especially when he has a
definitely.
girlfriend.
With all of
And
them.
yeah, it's very, very toxic. And honestly, to his girlfriend, I hope she finds a way to get out, because I mean, it just gets worse and it will never get better.
Right. And that's the truth. And it's not just him. It's like they all have this makeup to do that, just like it's just fun for them. So what would you
Yeah.
say now? What advice do you have to anyone who is either currently in that situation or maybe about to get in a situation? What would you say to look out for? Or if I'm in that situation, how do I get out? Do you have anything for anybody?
So I would say because it's hard to like identify abuse until like it actually happens. But narcissists, you won't think they're showing their true colors, but they are. Like if you see somebody like going into it like headstrong, like, "Oh, you're so perfect, you're so smart," but they don't even know you, that's immediately a red flag. And I would get out as soon as possible, because once a narcissist has you on their hook, it's really hard to break a trauma bond. I mean, it's like another drug to you. Once you're in that trauma bond, they can do whatever they feel like they can to you. And then when you have a baby or get married inside that paper, that's when everything gets worse. They can financially abuse you. I mean, him not showing up for DNA, them not showing up for DNA, or not giving you money when you ask is already financially abusing you. So, stuff, I would just tell them, get out right away, because a narcissist, it's better to know the signs and to get out as soon as possible, rather than have, brain damage for the rest of your life, or emotional wounds you can't heal. You could save yourself before you have all the healing to do.
Absolutely. Maya, girl, one, I am so glad that you're still here because, child, you done
Yes.
been through it. Like,
Yeah.
you've been through it. Sheesh. But thank you for taking your time out to share your story, to be open and honest
Of
about it,
course.
to help us help everybody else
Mhm.
who thinks that they're suffering alone. You're not suffering alone. You're not the only person experiencing the crazy.
Mhm.
You're not crazy. And so we just really appreciate you, girl, for
Of course.
showing up for us
Yes, of course.
and being that light that somebody needs to see and follow, so that they know
Yes.
that regardless of what you have been through or are going through, you can get out and you can have a better life after, for sure.
Exactly.
For sure. Well, y'all know what it is. I just want to say thank you. This has been another amazing episode of the Can't Be Broken podcast. And I encourage you to keep showing up, keep sharing your love, keep shining your light. Maya, thank you for your light. Thank you for your love, for your advice, for your transparency. In the meantime, in between time, y'all know what it is. We gon'